Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on the channel. So this final series I've been doing a fair few reviews, and even throughout the season I did a couple of reviews on Sydney Swans games since I am a Sydney supporter. But I haven't done any previews thus far. That is where that changes. I'm going to be doing a preview for the Sydney vs Collingwood matchup in the second preliminary final on the Sunday afternoon. Look, I'm going to be talking about who I think will win and why in a bit more detail than what I did in my tipping video. I'm going to be talking about a few things that really do matter for each team to get right. I'm going to be talking about basically what both teams need to do to win, and yeah. So just quickly looking at these teams' last three matchups, you can see that Sydney have won two of them, Collingwood won one. The last two have been won by Sydney by roughly the same margins and sort of similar scorelines. Earlier in the year, in round 22, Sydney beat Collingwood by 27 points at almost a packed out SCG. Last year at the SCG as well, because all of these matchups pretty much are played at the SCG. Sydney got the job done by 30 points, however Collingwood finished 17th that year, so there's not really a whole lot you can take out of that, considering it wasn't this year and they're in a much different position, the Pies. And of course in 2020, Collingwood got the job done by 9 points. That, despite it being listed as a Collingwood home game, it was played at the Gabba for COVID reasons, so even when Collingwood do get home games against Sydney, it's not even at the MCG. Alright, now looking at some interesting matchups in this match. There's sure to be a few, starting off with Lance Franklin's duel with most likely Darcy Moore. He got carved up by Stephen May just a couple of weeks ago. Will he respond? We'll have to wait and see. He's kicked 50 goals for the year, so he hasn't had a bad year by any stretch of imagination. A lot of people have thought he's been a bit below his standards, which sort of makes sense when he's 35 years old, but again, he has not at all had a bad season. Nick Dacos and Ryan Clark will likely match up against each other, with Ryan Clark playing a bit of a tagging role on the halfback flanker. Obviously, Nick Dacos has had an absolutely superb season so far. He has collected the most disposals out of any Collingwood player throughout the year, at an average of 25.9 disposals a game. Last time these two sides played off, Ryan Clark did do a tagging role on Nick Dacos, which resulted in him getting only 19 disposals and sort of being shifted around the ground a little bit, playing in unnatural positions to sort of break the tag, and it did have an effect in the result in the end, you'd have to imagine. So you'd think, because Ryan Clark has had a bit of experience in tagging halfback flankers this year, you'd think he'd have to go to Nick Dacos again like he did in round 22. So, as I talked about in my previous tipping video for the preliminary finals, I said that I'm going to be tipping Sydney by 12 points. I believe that Sydney are the better side. However, I don't think it is going to be as comfortable as a win as it was last time for the Swans, because of a few things. For starters, Collingwood are going to be getting Jordan De Goey back. Well, he already was back. However, last time these two sides played off, Jordan De Goey wasn't playing, which was potentially a massive factor in why Sydney won. So Sydney will definitely need to deal with Jordan De Goey because he is a star player and he's been absolutely superb this final series so far. Craig McRae last time, as you can see here, admitted to coaching poorly in their last match at the SCG, because obviously the SCG's dimensions are quite a bit different to most AFL grounds. It is a lot more contested, or congested I should say, and it is a lot smaller than most other grounds. So for teams that really like to get fast ball movement by really spreading the play, the SCG isn't really a good ground to play on. and that is the case with Collingwood. They apply lots of pressure on the ball. A lot of their system is built around their defence. However, when they do get the ball back and rebound off half back, they absolutely masterful at really spreading the ball and slicing through the ground with fast ball movement. And last time these two sides played, Sydney really shut them down, shut that out of the game, and basically had the game on their terms pretty much the whole way through. Like Collingwood, they applied lots of pressure. Sydney's game is heavily revolved around pressure as well, but they can deal with the really fast ball movement of Collingwood with the dimensions of the ground and the fact that they play there and train there quite often. So yeah, that'll be pretty much it for my preview. So to go over my tip again, I'm going to be tipping Sydney by 12 points, with the scoreline being 66-54 in favour of Sydney. I think it'll be a bit of a scrappy, low-scoring game. Both these sides are very brilliant pressure sides, so there won't be a lot of free-flowing ball movement. There'll be a lot of scrappiness, the ball just bobbling around. I reckon in the first couple of quarters could be really low-scoring before the game breaks open at all, if it even does break open at any point. Yeah, I think the first half we could see really low scores. Second half maybe a little bit more free-flowing, but still more of the same. A lot of pressure, a lot of good defending. And yeah, that'll be it for this preview. Hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next one.